A cold November morning settled over the small town of Brookside as Ethan, the 32-year-old auto mechanic, wiped the grease from his hands and stepped outside his garage. Work had been slow, bills were rising, and he often wondered how long he could keep the shop running. Just as he sighed at the empty driveway, an old silver sedan rolled in, coughing and rattling. Behind the wheel was a young single mom, Maya, with tired eyes and a little boy in the back seat clutching a toy dinosaur. Ethan had no idea how much this moment would change his life. Maya stepped out, embarrassed but hopeful, explaining that her car had suddenly started smoking on the highway. Her voice cracked when she admitted she didn't have much money but needed the car for work and to get her son to school. Ethan sensed the weight behind her words, the worry, the exhaustion, the fear of something else going wrong. Without hesitation, he told her he'd take a look for free. Maya blinked in surprise, grateful for the kindness she hadn't received in a long time from anyone. Ethan popped the hood and immediately noticed major issues: a cracked belt, leaking oil, and a failing pump. The repairs were expensive, the kind that would break most people. He glanced at Maya, who was anxiously watching him, trying to read his expression. She looked like someone who had been carrying far too much alone. Instead of telling her the full cost, Ethan said he'd fix what was urgent, and they could figure out the rest later. Her shoulders dropped with relief, as if someone had lifted a mountain off her chest. Inside the waiting area, her son, little Liam, wandered around curiously before looking up at Ethan with bright, trusting eyes. "Are you fixing Mommy's car?" he asked. Ethan smiled and nodded. Something about the boy reminded him of himself at that age: quiet, sweet, and hoping adults would keep their promises. As Ethan returned to the garage, he felt an unusual pull in his heart. He wasn't just helping a customer, he was helping a family who desperately needed someone in their corner. Hours later, after working through lunch and skipping every break, Ethan had the engine running smoothly again. Maya looked shocked when he told her the repair was done. She braced herself for the price, holding her breath. But Ethan simply said, "Just pay me what you can, whenever you can." She stared at him, lips trembling. People didn't do this, not for her, not for someone struggling, not for a single mom barely making rent. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered a fragile thank you. As they prepared to leave, Liam ran up to Ethan and hugged him tightly, surprising both adults. Maya's cheeks flushed, and she apologized, but Ethan said it was okay. The boy looked up and said, "Mommy says good men are rare. Are you a good man?" Ethan felt a lump in his throat. He had never been asked something so sincere. For a moment, the quiet garage felt warmer. Maya looked away shyly, clearly embarrassed but deeply moved by her son's innocent honesty. Before stepping into the car, Maya took a deep breath, gathering her courage. She turned back to Ethan with a seriousness that made him pause. "Ethan, you didn't just fix my car today. You fixed something in me. I haven't met someone I could trust in a long time." Her voice shook as she added, "Do you? Do you want to be my son's father?" The words hung in the air, heavy, vulnerable, and unexpected. Ethan froze, stunned, unsure whether he heard correctly or imagined it. Maya quickly stepped back, realizing how bold the question sounded. She explained softly that she didn't mean immediately or in any official way. She just wanted to know if he'd consider being part of their lives. She admitted she'd been raising Liam alone for years, and for the first time, someone had shown them kindness without asking for anything in return. She wasn't asking for a commitment she couldn't give, only a chance to build something real, something stable, something hopeful. Ethan walked closer, lowering his voice. He told her that he'd lost someone years ago and had closed his heart since then, afraid to try again. But today, meeting her and Liam made him feel something he thought he'd never feel again. He told her he didn't know where this path would lead, but if she was asking for honesty and connection, he could give that. Slowly, he said he wanted to try step by step, day by day. Maya's eyes widened with relief and cautious happiness. As the sun dipped behind the town, Maya and Liam drove away, waving through the window. Ethan watched them go, feeling something shift inside him. For years he'd been surviving, not living. Now, a new chapter was unfolding, one he didn't expect but desperately needed. Maya whispered to her son that good people still existed, and Liam hugged his dinosaur tightly, smiling. In the quiet of the garage, Ethan finally allowed himself to feel hope. He didn't just repair a car he found, the beginning of a family he never knew he was waiting for.